to my channel English Literature 101. Today I am going to start my first video based on the CBSE syllabus. So the topic for the day is a story titled Who Did Patrick's Homework? This story is prescribed by CBSE for class 6 in the English book named Honeysuckle. Before starting with the detailed explanation of the story, those who haven't seen my introductory video, it's my humble request for them to please go through it so that you can get an idea about how the classes are going to commence and what all topics will be dealt with. So without any further delay, let's begin with the chapter. Who did Patrick's homework? Patrick never did homework. Too boring, he said. So, we find that this story is about a boy called Patrick. Patrick never used to do his homework. Too boring, he said, and he always used to consider homework as boring. He played hockey and basketball and Nintendo instead. And what he used to do? Instead of doing his homework, he used to play hockey, basketball and Nintendo. Nintendo is kind of a video game. His teachers told him, Patrick, do your homework or you won't learn a thing. His teachers used to constantly tell him that Patrick, you need to do your homework, otherwise you won't be able to learn anything. And it's true, sometimes he did feel like an ignoramus. But what could he do? He hated homework. So his teachers constantly used to tell him that if he would not do his homework, then he would not learn anything. And he even believed it that yes, and he sometimes felt that he is uneducated. But still, there was no other way left for him because he hated homework like anything. Then one day, he found his cat playing with a little doll and he grabbed it away. So one day what happens? He finds his cat playing with a little doll and he grabbed it away. The meaning of grabbed is to snatch away. So when his cat was playing with a little doll, he just snatched it away. To his surprise, it wasn't a doll. That is, what he considered to be a doll was not a doll at all, but a man of the tiniest size. So instead of a doll, what was it? It was a small man. He had a little wool shirt with old-fashioned breeches and a high tall hat, much like a witch's. So, what was the attire or what was the dress the little or the tiniest man was wearing? He was wearing a woolen shirt and he had breeches which were old-fashioned. Now what is breeches? Breeches is basically old-fashioned trousers. And he had a high tall hat, much like a witch. And we know that a witch wears a hat. Similarly, he also was wearing a hat which was tall and high like that of a witch. He yelled, "Save me, don't give me back to that cat." He yelled. What did the tiniest size man do? He shouted and said, "Save me, Patrick, don't give me to the cat. I will grant you a wish, I promise you that." He says that please don't give me to the cat. Instead, what will I do? You can wish anything from me and I promise I'll give it to you. Patrick couldn't believe how lucky he was. Here was the answer to all of his problems. Now when the tiniest man said that whatever Patrick would ask, he would give it to him, Patrick was very happy and considered himself to be lucky. So he said, only if you do all my homework till the end of the semester, that's 35 days. Then what does this Patrick say? Patrick said that I can save you from the cat only if you promise to do my homework till the end of semester, that is 35 days. If you do a good job enough, I could even get A's. And you need to do what? You need to do my homework so very good that I can get a grade A. The little man's face wrinkled like a dishcloth thrown in the hamper. He kicked his legs and doubled his fists, and he grimaced and scolded and pursed his lips. Oh, am I cursed? But I will do it. So what happens? After listening to the wish of Patrick, the elf or the tiniest man was very angry. This gestures, that is, kicked his legs, doubled his fists, this all gestures show that how angry the tiniest man was. And true to his word, that little elf began to do Patrick's homework. Except there was one glitch. Now, what happened? As the elf had already promised Patrick that he is going to do his homework, so he started doing his homework. But this elf had a small glitch, that is, a small problem. The elf did not always know what to do and he needed help. What was this elf's problem? He was ready to do the work, he was ready to do the homework, but he always used to face problem. Help me, he would say, and Patrick would have to help in whatever way. So what happened? He always used to, whenever he used to do his homework, he used to ask for help. He used to say, help me, and finally it was only Patrick who had to help him out. I don't know this word, the elf squeaked while reading Patrick's homework. Get me a dictionary. No, what's even better? Look up the word and sound it out by each letter. So what does that elf say? The elf shouted on Patrick, saying that he did not know this word, and he said that, Patrick, please get me a dictionary, or it would be better that you go through the dictionary, find the word, and please let me know what does it mean. When it came to maths, Patrick was out of luck. What a times table, the elf shrieked. Now when the elf had to solve Patrick's maths, then what happened? He was not able to understand table, and he shouted, we elves never need that. The elf shouted after seeing the table that this table is not my cup of tea. I had never done such maths or such tables before. And addition and subtraction and division and fraction. So the elf was like, he never heard these terms. So he was totally messed up. Here, sit down beside me. You simply must guide me. And he asks Patrick that, please, Patrick, you need to help me and guide me. Then I would be able to do your homework. You please sit beside me and guide me. Elves know nothing of human history. To them, it's a mystery. So he says that an elf like me does not know anything about the human history. These all things are mystery for me. So the little elf, already a shouter, just got louder. Go to the library, I need books, more and more books, and you can help me read them too. Now the elf was so angry that what did he do? He shouted and asked Patrick to go to the library and bring more and more books, and he even asks Patrick to read it and help him out with his homework. As a matter of fact, every day in every way, that little elf was a nag. Patrick was working harder than ever, and was it a drag? He was staying up nights, had never felt so weary, was going to school with his eyes puffed and blurry. So what happened? Each and every day or day after day, the elf started nagging Patrick to do his homework or to help him out. So Patrick used to work harder and harder, and for that what happened? He used to stay or keep himself awake late night. Then he used to feel tired, and the next day when he went to school, his eyes were puffed. That is, our eyes becomes puffed only when we lack our sleep. So the elf was always nagging and took Patrick's help to complete the homework. Finally, the last day of the school arrived, and the elf was free to go. As for homework, there was no more, so he quietly and slyly slipped out the back door. So finally, what happened? The last day of the school arrived. That is, it was the day when the elf was free to go. So what did he do? He just quietly and secretly, he just moved away from the back door. Patrick got his A's. His classmates were amazed. His teachers smiled and were full of praise. So finally, it was the result day. Patrick got his result, and to everyone's amazement, what happened? Patrick scored a grade A. The teachers were very happy. They were all smiling and they all praised him. And his parents, they wondered what had happened to Patrick. He was now a model kid, cleaned his room, did his course, was cheerful, never rude, like he had developed a whole new attitude. Not only his teachers, but his parents were also very surprised and wondered, seeing the change which took place in Patrick. Now Patrick is a model kid. Model kid, you can say, that is, he could be considered as a good child. That is, he used to clean his room. Then he used to do all the household duties. He was very cheerful. He was never rude, and he all of a sudden he had a new attitude towards life and towards his studies. So everyone was happy. You see, in the end, Patrick still thought he had made that tiny man do all his homework. But I'll share a secret just between you and me. It wasn't the elf, Patrick had done it himself. Now, this last para, here the speaker is Carol Moore, that is the writer of the story. At the end, what does he say? Here, Carol Moore says that Patrick used to think that it was the elf who used to do his homework, but the secret is that it was not the elf who was, who was doing the homework for Patrick. Rather, it was Patrick himself who was helping himself to do the homework. So guys, that's all for today's video, and I hope you all have understood the chapter well. If you have any queries regarding the chapter, do let me know in the comment section below. And please don't forget to like, subscribe my channel and hit the bell icon for further updates. Thank you.